You are sitting in your car, gripping the steering wheel while staring at the rearview mirror. Your heart beats slightly faster than normal, and a familiar tightness spreads across your chest. In 10 minutes, you have to walk into a room and negotiate a salary raise, deliver a presentation that could define your career. Or perhaps you are just about to check a bank account balance you have been avoiding for weeks. Your mouth feels dry. Your palms are sweating. Society tells you that this feeling is a clear sign of weakness, a red flag that you are crumbling under stress and need to immediately calm down. But what if everything you have been taught about this intense physical sensation is fundamentally wrong? What if the heavy, crushing weight you feel right now is not actually your body failing you, but rather a highly sophisticated biological software preparing you to perform at your absolute peak? We live in a culture that treats pressure like a toxic disease. We are constantly sold endless escapes from it through meditation apps, vacations, and philosophies that promise a completely frictionless existence. Yet if you look closely at anyone who has built immense financial wealth, cultivated deep, meaningful relationships, or achieved extraordinary physical health, you will notice they do not live a life devoid of pressure. Instead, they have completely rewritten their relationship with it. Have you ever wondered why two people can face the exact same high-stakes deadline, and one person completely shuts down, while the other suddenly unlocks a level of hyper-focus they never knew they possessed? The answer lies not in their innate talent, but in how their brain interprets biological arousal. To understand how to master pressure, we first must define what it actually is and how it differs from its closely related cousin stress. Stress is a physiological and psychological response to a perceived threat, often lingering for days or months about things you cannot control. Pressure, however, is different. Pressure is a localized acute state, where your performance in a specific moment directly dictates the outcome. It is the penalty kick in the final minute. It is the moment you hit publish on a new business venture. When you enter a high-pressure environment, your amygdala acts as an alarm system, flooding your bloodstream with adrenaline and cortisol. Your pupils dilate to take in more light. Your liver dumps glucose into your blood to provide instant energy. Your heart shunts blood away from your digestive organs and pumps it directly into your large muscle groups and your brain. This biological cascade is incredibly powerful, but it is also a double-edged sword. When left unmanaged, the negative effects of pressure can be devastating to both your health and your wealth. If you continuously interpret these physical signals as a threat, your prefrontal cortex, which is the logical decision-making center of your brain, effectively goes offline. This is known biologically as an amygdala hijack. Think back to a time when you were put on the spot and your mind went completely blank. You did not forget the information. Your brain simply restricted access to it because it prioritized survival over complex thought. When this happens repeatedly in our modern lives, we make catastrophic choices. We sell our investments at the absolute bottom of a market crash because the financial pressure feels physically intolerable. We snap at our partners, causing lasting damage to relationships because we lack the cognitive bandwidth to regulate our emotions. Chronic, unmanaged pressure keeps our nervous system locked in a state of high alert, which research suggests accelerates cellular aging, compromises the immune system, and drastically increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. But here is the fascinating twist that changes everything. Science indicates that the goal should never be to eliminate pressure. Over a century ago, psychologists Robert Yerkes and John Dodson discovered a biological framework that dictates human performance. It is known as the Yerkes-Dodson law, and it reveals that performance actually increases with physiological or mental arousal, but only up to a point. If you have zero pressure, you experience apathy, boredom, and zero motivation to improve your life. Your career stagnates and your financial growth flatlines because there is no biological urgency to adapt. As pressure increases, your focus sharpens, your memory consolidation improves, and your execution becomes precise. This is the optimal zone. It is only when the pressure exceeds your perceived ability to cope that performance falls off a cliff. This means that to become highly successful, you do not need an easy life. You need to expand your capacity to hold pressure without tipping into panic. How do you actually do that in real time when your heart is racing? It starts with a technique called cognitive reappraisal. A groundbreaking study conducted at Harvard Business School asked participants to perform highly stressful tasks like public speaking or difficult math tests in front of judgmental evaluators. One group was told to try and calm down. The other group was told to say out loud, "I am excited." The results were astounding. The group that tried to calm down performed poorly. They stumbled over words and made errors because trying to force a highly aroused nervous system to suddenly become calm is like trying to stop a speeding freight train with wooden brakes. The group that declared they were excited, however, performed brilliantly. Why did this happen? Because biologically, anxiety and excitement are nearly identical states. Both involve a racing heart, sweaty palms, and elevated cortisol. The only difference is the cognitive label you assign to the physical sensation. The next time you feel the crushing weight of a major financial decision or a career-defining moment, do not tell yourself to calm down. Instead, tell yourself that your body is giving you the energy required to meet the challenge. Remind yourself that this racing heart is not a sign of failure, but a biological upgrade, temporarily granting you faster reaction times and sharper focus. When you reframe pressure as a performance enhancer, your blood vessels actually remain relaxed and open, allowing maximum oxygen delivery to your brain. When you view pressure as a threat, those same vessels constrict, restricting blood flow and causing the infamous brain fog that ruins negotiations. This simple shift in perspective is the exact mechanism that separates elite athletes and top-tier investors from those who consistently crack under the weight of expectations. Of course, simply changing your thoughts is not always enough when the pressure feels absolute. You must also use your physical body to anchor your mind. When you are under intense pressure, your breathing pattern subconsciously shifts. You begin taking short, shallow breaths through your mouth. This mechanical action signals to your brain that you are in a state of active danger, creating a vicious cycle of escalating anxiety. You can manually override this software by controlling your diaphragm. Evidence indicates that a specific breathing protocol, known as the physiological sigh, is the fastest real-time tool for reducing autonomic arousal. It involves taking 2 quick inhales through the nose, followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth. The double inhale pops open tiny air sacs in your lungs called alveoli, while the extended exhale actively stimulates the vagus nerve, immediately slowing your heart rate. Performing just 3 of these breaths before a high-stakes conversation can shift you out of a panic state and back into the optimal performance zone, allowing you to communicate with unshakable authority. Handling pressure in the moment is a tactical skill, but building long-term resilience requires strategic lifestyle design. You cannot expect to handle the immense pressure of building wealth or transforming your career if your foundational physiology is crumbling. Sleep is not a luxury for the ambitious. It is the primary mechanism your brain uses to clear out metabolic waste and recalibrate the emotional centers of your nervous system. Research suggests that a brain deprived of adequate sleep loses its ability to distinguish between a minor inconvenience and a massive threat. Without sleep, every small obstacle feels like a catastrophic failure. Furthermore, engaging in regular physical exercise acts as a controlled simulation of pressure. When you lift heavy weights or engage in cardiovascular training, you are intentionally stressing your body and forcing it to adapt. You are teaching your nervous system that you can experience discomfort, a racing heart and physical fatigue, and still remain in complete control. These small daily actions compound over months and years, forging a physical and mental armor that makes you practically immune to the everyday anxieties that paralyze most people. Mastering pressure ultimately unlocks the door to a richer life in every sense of the word. Wealth generation is rarely about having the highest intelligence. It is almost entirely about emotional regulation. The people who win in business and investing are simply the ones who can tolerate the highest levels of ambiguity and pressure without making impulsive, emotional decisions. When you stop viewing pressure as a toxic enemy and start viewing it as a powerful ally, you stop running away from difficult challenges. You start leaning into the difficult conversations that repair broken relationships. You start taking calculated risks that exponentially grow your income. You stop living a small, restricted life dictated by the fear of discomfort. The pressure you feel is not trying to destroy you. It is trying to forge you. Coal and diamonds are made of the exact same material. The only difference is the amount of pressure they have endured. You have the exact same biological hardware as the most successful people on Earth. The difference lies entirely in how you interpret the racing heart, the quickened breath, and the high-stakes moments. Do not waste the energy your body gives you by trying to suppress it. Channel it. Use it to speak louder. Stand taller and execute your vision with absolute precision. The next time you find yourself gripping the steering wheel before a massive moment, take a deep breath, smile, and recognize that you are biologically primed for greatness. Thank you for watching the Health and Wealth channel. If this video changed how you view pressure and performance, please hit the like button and share your own experiences with handling high-stakes moments in the comments below. Remember to subscribe for more insights on mastering your mind and body. Keep growing, and we will see you in the next video. Please note that the information provided on this channel is for educational and informational purposes only, and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider regarding any medical condition.